All right, let's talk about Survivor Series real quick. I think I just want to make it clear that I know a lot of us were expecting The Rock or expecting Brock Lesnar or expecting Paul Heyman to betray somebody or Punk and Roman to attack each other, but I think we've just been spoiled this past year with whether it be returns or surprises and just so many things that happen at the end of shows that sometimes we take that for granted and then we start thinking that because it didn't happen, the show sucked. I think we also need to understand that just because the show didn't have a surprise, it doesn't mean it sucked. The reason the surprises mean so much is because of the buildup that goes along with it. And if there's a surprise every single show, then that defeats the purpose of a surprise being valuable and going crazy over. And I'll be honest, I was the same way. I had to kind of train myself last night over the fact that the Bloodline was standing there in the front of the stage and nobody came out. I was kind of like, where's The Rock, so-and-so? But, it was still a good show. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up before I get into the results and what happened and what I thought of the show. Survivor Series had 5 matches going into the show, with 2 of them being Wargames matches, 1 for the men's, 1 for the women, and 3 championship matches as well. The first match was the women's Wargames match, and that match was absolutely awesome. From Naomi hitting Nia Jax with a toilet bowl, to Tiffany Stratton hiding her Money in the Bank briefcase in a trash can, to Tiffany Stratton and Io Sky diving from the top of the cage. It was absolute madness, even to Raquel Rodriguez having handcuffs stuck on the ring ropes. And at the end of it, Rhea Ripley did a nice riptide to Liv Morgan through a table, pinning her for the 1-2-3. I give this match a 4.5 out of 5. Then we had LA Knight defending against Shinsuke Nakamura for the US Championship. I called that Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win this, and that's exactly what happened. So for those that were like, oh, LA Knight's retaining, well, I told you. Like, why would they have Shinsuke Nakamura return with this dark character just for him to lose to LA Knight a few weeks later? It just made sense from a build-up purpose that Shinsuke was going to win this title. And for this US Championship match, I give this a 3 to 3.5 out of 5 because it was underwhelming, it felt like, especially with just the anticipation. Next up, we had the triple threat match of Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. As expected, Braun Breaker did retain, but that match did deliver, and I give them all props on all of their freaking madness that they did. Braun Breaker diving from the top rope onto the table, onto Ludwig and Sheamus, to Ludwig Kaiser kicking out of like God knows what freaking finishers, to Sheamus taking a shillelagh shot nonstop and going crazy with the bruises on his back. I give them all props. I give this 4 out of 5. Then we had the Damian Priest versus Gunther match for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I figured Gunther was going to retain because of an interference. I just thought it was going to be Ludwig Kaiser and not bum-ass Finn Balor. Like, Finn, worry about the tag team titles with JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. Why are you still going after Damian Priest? They could have at least had Ludwig Kaiser interfere, which could build the storyline of Gunther saying, why are you here? Let me win my matches by my own self. Like, come on. Because, like, I could tell now that for Saturday night's main event, it's going to be Damian Priest versus Finn Balor once again. I give this match a 3.5 out of 5. And then finally, we got the men's War Games match with the OG Bloodline and CM Punk versus the New Bloodline and Bronson Reed. The first thing I noticed when this match started was the fact that Roman Reigns was second to last to enter with his entrance music, while Jey Uso was the final person to enter, which I guess makes sense because Jey Uso was starting the show, but it's really cool to see somebody other than Roman Reigns get the spotlight as that last person with the aura coming into the show. And he came out of the crowd like he always does, and I was excited for him. Tama Tonga out here acting like a freaking wild tiger on a cage, to Jacob Fatu messing up his leg and doing his Fortnite emote, to CM Punk and Roman Reigns clashing within the cage with Roman blocking Punk from entering the War Games match in favor of Sami Zayn, and CM Punk bumping into Roman Reigns when it was his time to go. I also don't know why there was a delay in the ringing of the bell. I guess they wanted everybody from each side to be standing in the opposite sides of the ring before they rang the bell and said, and now it's time for War Games. The match itself definitely delivered, from a huge tsunami from Bronson Reed to CM Punk saving Roman from said tsunami to everybody getting their finishers in onto Solo Sikoa. However, Solo Sikoa still has the Ulafala, so let's see what goes into the Royal Rumble with this. I think things aren't finished yet with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. CM Punk may have gotten Roman Reigns' trust, but I feel like with Paul Heyman still in the picture, something is going to go down. And as expected, the OG Bloodline won the match, defeating Solo Sikoa with a nice pin 1-2-3. But it was after the match that a lot of people were expecting surprises to go through, and unfortunately there was not. Which goes back to the beginning of my video that, like, not everything has to be a surprise, as much as I was hoping there was The Rock coming through or whoever. But, you know, I feel like these moments are what make the actual surprises, whenever they happen, actually mean something, rather than just a surprise every single PLE. And like I said, I had to learn that myself last night and just understand, like, yo, not everything gotta be a surprise. Anyway, what do you think of Survivor Series? Do you like my review, or do you think, like, something should have changed throughout the show? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, make sure you follow for more wrestling content.